ASMR Paradise. Hi everyone, hello. I just wanted to make a video just to catch up with everyone, because I haven't recorded ASMR in a few weeks, which is absolutely fine to me, but obviously I just want to keep you all updated on what's been going on with my life. Nothing really that will affect my ASMR channel, and I'll still make videos as often as I can. I'll just quickly recap what's been happening. So I think the last time I recorded was about 1 month ago, and I'm not sure whether or not it happened before this, but I had a car accident, and basically someone crashed into my car when I was working, and the car was written off. It kind of gave me a bit of a bad back injury and a neck injury, which is quite common, but when people say they've got whiplash, if it is true, then I completely sympathise with them, because it isn't pleasant whatsoever. For example, every day when you're just sitting down, your back just hurts and you just need to sort of adjust it every 5 minutes. It's just not okay. I've been having physiotherapy. Luckily the insurance accepted the accident. I can't really say too much about it, but I am recovering, and this happened over a month ago, actually 2 months ago now. So I was off work for a good 6 weeks at least, and I'm just gradually getting back into work now, which is good, because as you may know, when you're off work you just don't know what to do with yourself. And it was over the Christmas period as well, and I was just trying to keep busy, but I didn't have the energy to record ASMR, and I just didn't feel like it. Like sometimes you go out of the swing of things and you just don't keep yourself active, and you don't update things, you don't do the life laundry that you're supposed to do. And it's okay, because a lot of times I make myself feel guilty about that, but you shouldn't really, because it's just normal, it's not permanent, and sometimes you just need a bit of a break, you know. I am next month, end of this month, flying to Hungary for a week, because my partner's actually originally from there, and we're going to visit his family, and I've never been to Hungary before. It's close to Budapest, so I'm really, really excited for that. And also hopefully we'll be going on holiday in July, but that's still in progress. So also, I don't know how many of you knew, but I was a smoker, and I smoked for since I was about 15, which is like 9 years ago, which is a long time. And it was starting to have a really bad effect on me, where I couldn't even go up the stairs because I was out of breath, and I would go running, but then I couldn't really run too far because I was just stopping every 5 minutes, catching my breath, and I couldn't actually take a deep breath like that. It was just more restricted, and I was always coughing in the morning, and just generally it just wasn't good. And I knew if I continued that way, then by the time I was 30 I would just have COPD or something, because when I was a kid I had asthma, and obviously you're not supposed to smoke when you've got asthma, but it just ended up where I was just smoking anyway and I didn't care. But then once the effects kicked in, I just thought, right, I need to do something about it. So I've got one of these e-cigarettes, and it is, at the minute it's 18mg, and I'm just using that for now, and then I'll slowly reduce the milligram intake. But I've been stopped now for a month, because it was the 1st of Jan, because it was my New Year's resolution. So from the 1st of Jan until today, and today's date is the 2nd of February, so it's just over a month, and I'm really pleased with my progress. I did have a little relapse when I was out. Obviously when you drink alcohol you do your willpower isn't as strong, so I just had 2 shots of a cigarette, and it was horrible. it's just so weird how when you stop smoking, how you notice the actual stink of the cigarettes and taste. Because I had two off a cigarette, and it was like the taste in my throat was awful, and it was like disgusting. I thought, how did I do that every day, 10 times a day? And then me and my friend flew to Ireland, and before the airplane my e-cigarette had died. So I was nervous because I'm a little bit of a nervous flyer. So she smoked, so I just had like a one off of her, and again I was like, just give it back immediately. But that's like the 2 instances where I've done that, and the last time was like 3 weeks ago. So I've literally just stuck with this the whole time. And I'll show you how it works. So you just press the button. It's just vape really. It's like just liquid. This one is nicotine and menthol, because I used to smoke menthol cigarettes, so it's just the same as taste really, but not with all the horrible chemicals. And I've heard some people say there's like new articles and new studies that e-cigarettes are just as bad as normal cigarettes in terms of killing white blood cells and causing cancer and things. But it's like, surely if it doesn't have tar, it doesn't have carbon monoxide, surely it's got to be better than horrible cigarettes. And obviously the expense of it as well, because so far I've saved about £140 in the month because of not smoking, and I just can't believe I would just waste my money like that for 9 years. And it's like, how much did I used to spend on cigarettes? It's unbelievable. I could have bought a deposit on a house, or it's just wasted. And I know like a lot of people have their own addictions, like food, they just waste money on food, or waste money on alcohol, or even drugs, or like gambling and things like that. And I think, well, I do like those things, but I don't, obviously not drugs, but I don't really indulge in them. I don't go overboard with it. So I just think, well, if I want to save some money and I'll not even notice it's gone, I'll just begin putting the money that I've saved from cigarettes into a jar. And my partner started doing that as well, but we actually started in October because we work in a place where you get tips. So every time we got tips, we would just put it in the jar. And then literally yesterday we thought we'll open the jar because it was quite heavy. It was all pound coins and a couple of £5 notes, a couple of £10 notes. And we counted it all up from, I think it was even November the 1st, so 3 months. And it had £400 in it, and I was so amazed because we didn't even notice this money was missing. It was just nothing. It would have just been spent on cigarettes or food, or just like going out somewhere. And we still do those things apart from the smoking, but it's like we've never noticed it. So counted it all up, took it to the bank, and then we've put it in the bank account. So that we've got £400 that we're going to put on a deposit for a holiday this year. So we're literally just looking at holidays now, and then we're going to just book them. And £400 isn't exactly enough to book the full holiday, but we only need about £200 or £300 more, which is fine because we'll just continue to put the money in the box. So I'm really looking forward to that as well. And this year I just want to travel loads of places, and I just want to do loads of things that I've never done before. You might know I'm also learning to speak Hungarian, and it is a difficult language, but it's not too bad. Once you know the mechanics and the algorithm of it, it's not too bad. And obviously his family speaks Hungarian and they speak a little bit of English, so I'm a little bit nervous of how we're going to communicate. Generally, me and him, if there's a word that we don't understand, we just use Google Translate, but it's becoming less and less frequent now where we don't need to use it. So when in a few months, like, we probably won't use it whatsoever, and hopefully I'll be more fluent in Hungarian as well. But I think it's going to be more difficult to communicate with people who don't speak English, because you can't exactly say, oh, I don't understand what you're saying. you have to say Shaina Lom Nemer Murt Ungle Vodjok. And it's like, after that there's like no other sentence that you can say, so you just have to persist with it. But I'm really enjoying learning to speak another language because it's something I've always wanted to do, and it's also useful because it's practical for me, because it's not like I'm just learning it for no apparent reason. It has a reason for it. Also, what else has been happening? So, as I say, I'm back at work, and oh yes, I've forgot to mention a really important thing. I recently joined a church, which is the Hillsong Church, and I'll show you something from there. So every Sunday we go to the Hillsong Church in Newcastle, and maybe you've heard of the Hillsong Church, but it's a really popular church around the world, really. A lot of churches in the UK, but I recently began to follow my faith as a Christian, and I'm really enjoying this journey, and it's just brought so many enlightening things to me. And actually, 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. So when I first started following Christianity, it was obviously like really hard to understand, and like to read the Bible. Obviously it's all in Old English, and there is a lot of questions that you have as well, and things like that. And sometimes you do see at the beginning, you do think, like, is it real? Is it worth it? Is it just like it's just a fantasy? But when you do think those things, you do start to see small signs. And one of the biggest signs I found is that when I went to church the first time, I was so overcome with emotion because it was so just fantastic. And this church was so full of spirit and soul, and just nice people, and just so uplifting. It was just something I couldn't describe. And when I went to work that evening, I found this note which says, Jesus loves you. And I thought, oh, that's so strange. Like, it was literally just at the doorstep of my work, and I just looked down, it was there. And a few weeks before that, my partner actually found this one. So there's two, but he's actually found about 3 altogether, just lying around like the town where we live. And obviously it's probably from a church, somebody who's just written them down and just threw them into the sky. But like, these signs have appeared when we needed them the most, and when my faith had been tested. And it was just so nice to actually like see some evidence of something. And also the people at the church are just so nice, so welcoming, and it's like they don't talk about themselves. Like, they're not selfish, and they're not a lot of people, and I'm not saying like anyone in particular, but a lot of people don't actually ask how you are, and they're not really interested about you. They're just interested in the self, which I have been guilty of in the past, but I'm trying to sort of turn that around. But a lot of people just they just want to tell you what's going on with their life, and they don't care about you. Like, obviously if you had some important news, they'd be like, oh, I'm sorry, but nothing like, they don't sacrifice their time for you. But the people in the church do, and it's so wonderful to be around such nice people. And when you hang around with these people, you start to turn into them as well, and it's just such like a life-changing thing. And when you're nice to people, when you give things out there, you get things in return, and you get results. Because people who are selfish, they just think, well, I just want everything for myself. But when they do that, in turn, they're actually creating more and more problems for themselves without realising. So like, that's why sometimes like I volunteer places, and I just feel good about it, because I'm not I'm not doing it for me, and yeah, I might enjoy doing it, but it's not really for me. It's for the other people who will benefit from it. And this is something I'll probably do soon in the church, like whether it's like standing and talking to people, or just being like a part of that community, or even like help decorate inside the church, or anything really. I would just be really honoured to do it. And it's also service for God, because He knows that you're giving this service for Him, because the church is actually His community, and it's His temple and where you'd worship Him. And if I'm making that better, then more people are likely to come and repent. So last week as well, I repented, and I did the repentance prayer, which was just such a relief. But soon I need baptised again, because I need to be immersed in the water and wash away my old sins so I can begin a new life, which is something that will probably happen soon. They also give me, because obviously you know the Bible, when you first start reading it, it is a lot of complicated words, Old English. It's quite difficult to understand if you're not used to it. So they give me this Bible, which is the Word Bible, and it's basically a Hillsong exclusive Bible where it's all simple English, and it's basically in a magazine form. And it is actually based on the Bible, of course, and it hasn't changed the Bible, it hasn't added anything to it, it's just simplified Bible, and it's still the exact same words, still the exact same message, but in easy to understand form. And it has the sections just like the Bible does. For example, it has Revelations at the end, which I've just read yesterday, which was really interesting. Obviously the Hebrews, Acts, Matthew, Luke, Peter, John, Timothy, Mark. It's just got all the same sections, but just simplified form. I mean, what they've done in the church, they just give me a copy of this, but you can actually get it online if you're interested. If you're not Christian, that's fine. Just maybe this video makes you feel relaxed, or I just wanted to chat with you in general and just hang out a little bit. So also there's been a couple of life-changing events in my family. So a few family members have separated from partners, and they're going through a bit of a rough time at the minute, so I just try and sort of pray for them and pray for that they find some salvation and some comfort in the words that I'm saying and from God. But there has been like a lot of things, a lot of changes happening, and they're not necessarily bad things, they can be good things, because it depends on the way you look at it. But in my life there isn't many changes, but there is just more progression as the days go on, which I'm so thankful for. But back to the ASMR community. So I will start making some more videos. If you have any suggestions, just drop them down below, because I think I've done like, not everything, but I've covered quite a lot of things, like common ASMR videos, like cranial nerve exams, ear exams, scalp inspections, extractions, eye tests, and then miscellaneous things like haircuts and measuring, things like that. I've been watching a lot of ASMR lately, and I'm just so blown back of the creativity of the other ASMR artists, and I'm actually really pleased that I'm in this community. But I just want to kind of keep up with the pace, because it is changing all the time and it's becoming more and more popular. I don't want to be sort of left behind. I just want to be more sort of involved, but sometimes it's difficult, because sometimes when I'm not motivated, or I don't have any ideas, I don't have any inspiration, I feel a little bit like like I'm left back, but the good thing is it's easy to just come back into it, which I'm trying to do now. So yeah, if you have any suggestions, just leave them below and I'll certainly consider them for you. And thanks for coming along today and just hanging out with me and seeing what's been going on. And let me know, how are you in the bottom of the comment section, and we can maybe just have a chat, or I'll reply, whatever you want. And thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.